You're looking at a weekly chart of the XBI, which is the Spider Biotech Exchange Traded Fund. And you can see here, during COVID, the drug stocks were very popular and a hit, and they ripped higher. And you could see all these weeks of just ripping higher. Then it had the 3 weeks tight pattern, then had this climax top in early February of 2021. And it's been in a bear market or a downtrend or a decline for like 16 months, where it made this low here, and you can see all the selling on the way down. This to me looks like capitulation selling, the highest volume week here on May 13th. So it from there went up, had 3 weeks tight, then retested the low. It retested the low this week of June 17th, which is also coincides with the NASDAQ making its low. But since then, it's been making higher lows and higher highs. Last week, it bumped up against its 40-week line. So we'll see what happens here. It's got some technical resistance. So maybe it goes sideways, maybe it gets rejected, and maybe it just rips right through it. We don't know. But you can see all the overhead supply here. These people who bought higher levels were going to sell out once they get back to even. That's just human nature. But it's also short term. I like the leveraged S&P, which is LABU. And if you take a look at this chart, you can see very similar action. This one's 83% off of its highs. But this one made a low on this capitulation selling back in May, and then retested that low and made another low, 406, in the week of when the NASDAQ made its low. But ever since then, it's traded higher, consolidated, traded higher, consolidated. And now this thing's bumping up against technical resistance as well at its 30-week line there at $12. So we'll see if it gets rejected, trades sideways, or rips through. I like to look at this one on the 60-minute chart because it shows the low that it made. Let me get this out of the way. Right here on the 16th here, I believe it's the 16th. What day was this? Yeah. When the NASDAQ made its low, 406 was the low, and it just rips up higher from there and then consolidates in a little consolidation pattern. And then it made a higher high here and got into a long trade range. Some people on my site own this and they were really frustrated, like, where's this thing going? But it's just in a trade range, consolidating gains. And last week ripped higher. So to me, it wouldn't surprise me to see this thing pull back, back to support. I would like to see it pull back to support, but who knows? This thing could rip right up to 15 before pulling back. You never know. But XBI, LABU, just 3 times leverage on the XBI. This thing looks good to me because it broke out of this trade range and it's starting to move higher. But once again, if you look at the weekly, there's a lot of sellers up in here, the overhead supply and the technical resistance. So you're going to have to be patient with this one, but we never give up.